Good morning, live from New Delhi. You're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh, coming up in the next hour. Russia-Ukraine conflict escalates. Kiev sends special forces to eastern city of Pokrovsk amid Moscow offensive. Multiple people stabbed on train near UK's Cambridge. 2 suspects arrested. Prime Minister Starmer calls the incident deeply concerning. Countdown begins for the launch of India's heaviest communication satellite, CMS-03, from Sriharikota, aims to provide services over a wide oceanic range, including the Indian landmass. And in women's cricket, India aims for its maiden World Cup title against South Africa in Mumbai today. Let's begin with the Russia-Ukraine conflict. With escalation of the conflict, Kiev has sent special forces to the eastern city of Pokrovsk amid Moscow's offensive. Ukrainian Commander-in-Chief Alexander Syrsky stated that a major operation is going on to drive the Russian forces out of Pokrovsk, with special operation units active in the city under his orders. Syrsky added Pokrovsk is facing intense pressure from large Russian force, but denied claims that the city had been encircled, insisting there is no blockade and the Ukrainian logistics are still functioning. Earlier this week, Kiev reported that a major Moscow offensive with hundreds of Russian soldiers infiltrating Pokrovsk, a key logistics hub, while additional forces are moving towards its outskirts in pincer movement. The capture of Pokrovsk could as well provide a major propaganda boost for the Kremlin, which has rebuffed US calls to halt its nearly 4-year-old conflict, instead pushed forward with its ground assault. Meanwhile, a Russian strike set ablaze a shop in Ukraine's southeastern Dnipropetrovsk region, killing 2 people, injuring several others, according to the region's acting governor. And an Israeli strike in southern Lebanon killed 4 people on Saturday as Israel ramped up attacks, raised fears for nearly year-long truce with Hezbollah. Despite a November last year ceasefire with Lebanese militant group, Israel maintains troops in 5 areas in southern Lebanon and has kept up regular airstrikes claiming to target Hezbollah. Lebanese President Joseph Aoun had called for talks with Israel in mid-October after US President Donald Trump brokered a ceasefire in Gaza. But Aoun has accused Israel of responding to his call to come to the negotiating table by stepping up strikes on his country. Hezbollah first began launching cross-border fire at Israel following the outbreak of the conflict in Gaza in October 2023. That set off more than a year-long conflict that culminated in 2 months of open conflict before last year's ceasefire was agreed. Thousands of Israelis gathered in Tel Aviv's Rabin Square on Saturday, marking 30 years since the assassination of Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin. Opposition leader Yair Lapid was amongst the speakers at the event, warning that extremists have distorted Judaism into hatred and violence and calling for unity, democracy and a renewal of Israel's founding ideals. Rabin, a Labour Party Prime Minister, was assassinated on November 4th, 1995 by right-wing extremist Yigal Amir after a peace rally in Tel Aviv. The event had been held to denounce political violence and show public backing for Rabin's effort to reach a peace deal with the Palestinians. Rabin shared the 1994 Nobel Peace Prize with Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat and the then Foreign Minister Shimon Peres for their roles in Oslo Accords, which aimed to lay the groundwork for 2-state solution. His killing shocked Israel and the world, marking a turning point that many saw as a blow to hopes for Middle East peace. Syrian President Ahmad Shara will visit Washington. US Special Envoy to Syria Tom Barrack informed on Saturday in what would be the first visit by a Syrian head of state to the United States capital. The visit will occur around November 10th, according to White House officials. According to State Department's historical list of foreign leaders' visit, No previous Syrian president has paid an official visit to Washington. Shara addressed the UN General Assembly in New York this September. Since seizing power from Bashar al-Assad last December, Shara has made a series of foreign trips as his transitional government seeks to re-establish Syria's ties with world powers that had shunned Damascus during Assad's rule. As US is pushing for a security agreement to be reached with Israel by the time Shara visits Washington, US Special Envoy to Syria Tom Barrack informed that Syria and Israel were close to reaching an agreement but declined to say when exactly a deal could be reached. Israel and Syria have been Middle East adversaries for decades. Despite the overthrow of Assad last December, territorial disputes and deep-seated political mistrust between the two countries remain. On Saturday, US President Donald Trump stated that he'd asked Defense Department to prepare for possible military action in Nigeria if the Nigerian government continues to allow the killing of Christians, according to him. Trump announced that US will cut all aid to Nigeria and may carry out a military strike against Islamic terrorists who are responsible for the atrocities. Meanwhile, Nigeria vowed to keep fighting violent extremism and expressed hope for continued American support after Trump placed the country on a watch list over threats to Christians. Earlier on Friday, Trump reinstated Nigeria on US countries of particular concern list for religious freedom violations, undoing Biden's 2021 decision to remove it from the list. US Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said Department of War is preparing for action in Nigeria if Nigerian government fails to protect Christians amid reports of violence in the country. Hegseth's post came after US President Donald Trump said he had asked the department to prepare for possible fast military action in the West African country. On Friday, Nigeria was placed on the US countries of particular concern list for alleged religious freedom violations, alongside nations such as China, Myanmar, North Korea, Russia and Pakistan. Nigeria, Africa's most populous country and largest oil producer, has struggled with violent extremism, particularly from Islamist militant groups. And continuing crackdown on drug vessels in the Caribbean, US Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said on Saturday that American military conducted a lethal strike on a vessel operated by a drug trafficking organization in the Caribbean, killing 3 men aboard. The operation, directed by President Trump and carried out in international waters, targeted a vessel known to be carrying narcotics along a smuggling route, with no US forces harmed. Hegseth said in a post on X, the Defense Secretary shared a video said to show the moment of the deadly strike on the alleged narcotics boat. In a tragic incident in the United Kingdom, multiple people were stabbed on passenger train in Cambridgeshire. Armed police were at the scene after being alerted around 1940 GMT, and the train was stopped at Huntingdon, a market town in East England. 2 people have been arrested. Investigation is underway. British Transport Police said counter-terrorism police were supporting its investigation while it worked to establish the full circumstances and motivation for the incident. Prime Minister Keir Starmer said in a post, and I quote, "The appalling incident on train near Huntingdon is deeply concerning. My thoughts are with all those affected. My thanks go to emergency services for their response. Anyone in the area should follow the advice of the police." Unquote. Knife crime in England and Wales has been steadily rising since 2011, according to official government data. While Britain has some of the strictest gun controls in the world, rampant knife crime has been branded as a national crisis by Prime Minister Starmer. His Labour government has tried to rein in their use. Nearly 60,000 blades have been either seized or surrendered in England and Wales as part of government efforts to halve knife crime within a decade. Carrying a knife in public can already get you up to 4 years in prison. The government said knife murders had dropped by 18% last year. Still to come on DD India News Hour. Novi Sad protesters light up city demanding early elections in Serbia. Jamaica to deploy multiple field hospitals post-Melissa hurricane. Grand Egyptian Museum, Giza, officially opens after 2 decades of construction work.
Long before the GMT, this city was the cosmic clock of India. It lay on the Tropic of Cancer and also was the prime meridian of India. All the calculations, astrologicals and astronomical, were done here. This is the city of King Vikramaditya. This is the city of Mahakal. Watch Forever Cities, a special edition on Ujjain only on DD India.
Can the US launch a bombing campaign against Iran? The Philippines vessel suffered structural damage. The saga of child sexual abuse is the United States China's debt trap strategy. Truth is stranger than fiction. But sometimes hard to uncover. Trust us to tell the truth, unadulterated and pure, of every story that matters to you. You read between the lines, cut the clutter, and connect the dots to get you the full picture. Watch Connecting the Dots at these times with me, only on DD India.
This is the city that has never been destroyed. Never. And the reason is that its custodian is Mahakal himself. Ujjain has surprises and secrets for you at every nook and corner. This is the story of Ujjain. Watch Forever Cities, a special edition on Ujjain only on DD India.
Welcome to Jaipur. Goa, a wild nature paradise, where over a third of the state remains wild today, and every corner is full of surprises. Goa's forests evolve through the seasons. Insects and crocodiles flourish in the monsoon, butterflies in the months after the rains subside, and in the winter, the jungle transforms into a haven for birds. Oh, there's a female right next to him. Oh my God, is that 8 otters? That's one of my favorite things about these forests. There are still so many secrets out there. Watch postcards from Goa on National Geographic.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh. Samia Suluhu Hassan, who has won her first elected term as President of Tanzania, securing 98% of the votes in the 2025 general elections, has condemned the protests surrounding the elections, While the opposition alleges that hundreds have been killed by security forces, the Electoral Commission of Tanzania said Hassan won 97.66% of the votes, with turnout at 87%, though media reports suggest that polling stations were largely empty. Her win seeks to cement her position and silence critics in a party with a resounding win, as main opposition candidates are either jailed or disqualified. However, the African Union chair has deeply regretted the loss of human life in the election protest in Tanzania, but congratulated President Samia Suluhu Hassan on a victory. Sudan faces a grim humanitarian crisis, with fresh reports of atrocities emerging from Al-Fashar after its capture by the Rapid Support Forces (RSF). The United Nations has termed the situation as catastrophic. Civilians continue to flee amid violence and restricted access for aid agencies. Global leaders are now calling for accountability and need for an urgent international response to end the suffering. DD India Soumya Raj Devedi brings us more.
In Sudan's Al-Fashir, mass killings continue in and around the region, days after the city fell to the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces or RSF. Since the city's fall, multiple reports have emerged of summary executions, sexual violence, attacks on aid workers, widespread looting and abductions. The RSF has claimed that it arrested several fighters accused of committing abuses. However, UN humanitarian chief Tom Fletcher has questioned the RSF's commitment to genuinely investigate these violations. The United Nations has voiced deep alarm over emerging reports of executions, sexual violence and abductions in Al-Fashir. UN spokesperson Stefan Dujarric described the situation as horrific, warning that conditions in North Darfur remain catastrophic, with civilians under attack and humanitarian access cut off. Meanwhile, at a regional security conference in Bahrain, German Foreign Minister Johann Vadeful called the Sudan's crisis as an absolutely apocalyptic. Britain's Foreign Minister Yvette Cooper too described the reported atrocities as truly horrifying and announced €5 million in new humanitarian funding for Sudan. The aid aims to support civilians caught in the violence and those displaced by the fighting in Al-Fashir. At war with the Sudanese army since April 2023, the RSF seized Al-Fashir last Sunday, pushing government forces out of their final stronghold in western Darfur following an 18-month siege, marking a relentless violence and suffering. Soumya Raj Dwivedi's report for DD India.
In Novi Sad, young activists called for snap elections and countrywide demonstrations to end Serbia's political turmoil, while thousands marked the first anniversary of the rail station roof collapse victims that killed 16 people. A second 16-minute silence was observed on the Danube riverbank, where participants raised lit phones towards the night sky. The protest movement, led by students, academics and opposition leaders, accused President Alexander Vučić and his Populist Nationalist Party of ruling over corruption, shoddy public services, nepotism and curbs on media freedoms. Meanwhile, the government has rejected the allegations. Let's move on to the news just coming in. A festive holiday weekend turned tragic for families in northwestern Mexico on Saturday when a deadly blaze engulfed a discount store in city center of Hermosillo, killing at least 23 people and injuring a dozen. Mexico is celebrating the Day of the Dead this weekend with colorful festivities in which families honor and remember the deceased loved ones. Most of the deaths appear to have been from inhalation of toxic gases. The cause of the fire, now doused, was still unclear, though some media blamed an electric failure. City officials say the store, part of popular discount chain Valdo's, was not the target of an attack. The chief of the city's firefighters said it was still being investigated whether there was an explosion. At least 21 people have been confirmed dead. 31 others remain missing after a devastating landslide hit Kenya's Marakabeth East region early on Saturday morning following heavy rains. A multi-agency search and rescue operation involving the military, police and humanitarian agencies is underway to locate the missing persons. Interior Cabinet Secretary of Kenya, who visited the affected site, said 25 people have been rescued and are receiving medical treatment. He urged residents to move to higher ground and avoid landslide-prone areas as rains continue to batter the region. Authorities have established reporting desk for missing persons, while emergency teams continue to dig through the debris. 2 more suspects, including a woman, were charged on Saturday in relation to the theft of historical jewels worth over $100 million from the Louvre Museum. In a press release, Paris prosecutors stated that both suspects have denied any involvement in the theft. 4 people are now under investigation and are in custody, while 3 others, arrested on October 29th, were released without charge. Masked thieves stole treasures from the Louvre's Apollo Gallery, which houses the French crown jewels, during opening hours on October 19th, highlighting security flaws at the world's most visited museum. Jamaican officials have announced plans to set up multiple field hospitals as the country recovers from Hurricane Melissa, with the death toll now over 50 across the Caribbean. Jamaica has confirmed 19 deaths so far, but officials say the actual number could be higher as some areas remain difficult to reach. Haiti's Civil Protection Department has reported at least 31 deaths due to the storm. Melissa struck Jamaica as Category 5 hurricane with 185 miles per hour winds, the most powerful storm ever recorded on the island, and drenched the country with torrential rains. Hospitals in western Jamaica were badly impacted, and the first field hospital is expected to arrive in Black River, fully equipped with an operating theatre and diagnostic equipment. More field hospitals are also expected with support from World Health Organization and countries including Spain, Canada, and India. Record heavy rains and flooding in central Vietnam this week has killed 35 people, disaster management officials said on Sunday, with 5 more still missing in the deluge. Heavy rains have pummeled Vietnam's coastal provinces since last weekend, with a record of up to 1.7 meters falling over 24 hours spanning last Sunday and Monday. Hua An's ancient town, that is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, has been inundated with waist-deep water, with residents navigating the city by wooden boats after a major local river overflowed at a 60-year high and rains continuing on Sunday. Members of a U.S. congressional committee investigating the Jeffrey Epstein case have intensified their calls for Andrew Mountbatten Windsor to answer questions about his ties to the late financier and sex offender. King Charles stripped Andrew of his title of prince and evicted him from his mansion in the grounds of Windsor Castle on Thursday. Responding to the outrage that had built around the royal over years of damaging headlines about his behavior, Buckingham Palace said the censures were needed, even though Andrew has continued to deny the allegations made against him. In the US, the King's move led to more calls for Andrew to reveal all that he knows about Epstein, particularly in the light of expression of sympathy for victims of abuse in Thursday's statement from the palace. A federal court in Rhode Island on Saturday ordered Trump administration to make full food aid benefit payments by Monday or partial payments by Wednesday, while acknowledging the irreparable harm that exists without their timely payment. The Rhode Island court case is one of the 2 lawsuits filed to block the U.S. Department of Agriculture's suspension of Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program benefits known as SNAP or food stamps. In a ruling issued on Friday, Judge John J. McConnell of the U.S. District Court for the District of Rhode Island rejected USDA's argument that it could not fund SNAP because of the ongoing federal shutdown. McConnell's Saturday order gave President Trump's administration Monday deadline to present a plan to pay full benefits on that day, or at least partial payments 2 days later. At the end of Friday's hearing, McConnell said administration's decision not to tap $5.25 billion in contingency funds to November benefits was arbitrary. Let's now take a look at other stories making news around the world. In southern Poland's Tarnow, a cemetery turned into a glowing sea of lights as thousands of candles were lit for All Saints' Day. Every year, on November 1st, people visit cemeteries to honor and remember their loved ones, lighting candles on their graves. The tradition reflects deep respect, remembrance, and emotional bond families hold with those who have passed away. Mexico City's Day of the Dead parade featured thousands of participants in Catrina-style costumes with skull-inspired makeup, marigold flowers and floats honoring cultural icons. The parade ran along the streets of Mexico, celebrating Dia de Muertos, a tradition that blends Catholic and indigenous customs to honor the deceased loved ones. The Grand Egyptian Museum in Giza officially opened on Saturday, ending more than 2 decades of construction delayed by regional unrest and the pandemic. A spectacular drone show lit up the night sky, forming images of Tutankhamun alongside King Khufu. Lasers and shadow projections enhanced the display, showcasing Egypt's cultural heritage and its vast collection of artifacts. Dozens of South Africans dressed as zombies marched through Cape Town on Saturday for the city's annual Zombie Walk, raising funds for the Lucky Lucy Foundation, which rescues and rehabilitates animals. Participants wore horror-themed costumes and walked with pets and family members, blending Halloween with community charity efforts. Still to come on DD India News Hour. President Draupadi Murmu on a 3-day visit to Uttarakhand. Prime Minister Modi on a campaign trail in Bihar today. And Bahrain's Foreign Minister Abdul Latif bin Rashid Al Zayani arriving in New Delhi on a 2-day visit.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the economic brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
Goa, an adventure paradise like none other. From lush forests to rugged hills, from pristine ocean beach stretches to stunning lakes, there is something to explore in every corner of the state. And some adventures are wilder than others. Watch postcards from Goa on National Geographic.
Jharkhand will mesmerize you with majestic nature, rich heritage and colorful culture.
Hello. Johar. And it fits perfectly.
Thank you.
Full workout ho gaya.
Ready?
Postcards from Jharkhand on National Geographic.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh. Our top stories. Russia-Ukraine conflict escalates. Kiev sends special forces to eastern city of Pokrovsk amid Moscow offensive. Multiple people stabbed on train near UK's Cambridge. 2 suspects arrested. Prime Minister Starmer calls the incident deeply concerning. Countdown begins for launch of India's heaviest communication satellite CMS-03 from Sriharikota. Aims to provide services over a wide oceanic region, including the Indian landmass. And in women's cricket, India aims for its maiden World Cup title against South Africa in Mumbai today. President Draupadi Murmu will visit Uttarakhand from November 2nd to 4th. During her 3-day tour, she will attend multiple key events across the state. The President will participate in the second convocation of University of Patanjali in Haridwar on Sunday. She will also address a special session of the Uttarakhand Legislative Assembly in Dehradun to mark the state's Silver Jubilee on Monday. Later, the President will attend a function celebrating 125 years of Raj Bhavan in Nainital. With political parties ramping up campaigning efforts ahead of the upcoming Bihar Assembly elections, Bharatiya Janata Party leader and Prime Minister Narendra Modi will visit Bihar on Sunday for a packed one-day election campaign featuring multiple rallies and a grand roadshow in Patna. In view of the Bihar Assembly polls, Election Commission of India had directed senior officials of the state of Jharkhand, Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal to ensure heightened vigilance in areas bordering the state, with enhanced checks at interstate posts to monitor movement of people, materials and money. The election in the state will be conducted in 2 phases on 6th and 11th of November. This year, the counting of votes will take place on 14th of November. The Indian Space Research Organisation, ISRO, is all set for the launch of its heaviest communication satellite, CMS-03, from Satish Dhawan Space Centre in Andhra Pradesh's Sriharikota today. The ISRO said 43.5-metre tall rocket has been fully assembled, integrated with satellite and moved to the second launch pad for final pre-launch checks. The liftoff is scheduled for 5:26 p.m. IST on November 2nd, that is today. The mission marks the 5th operational flight of the LVM-3, ISRO's last mission using this rocket was Chandrayaan-3 launch, which successfully landed near the lunar South Pole in 2023, making India the first country to achieve the feat. CMS-03 satellite, a multi-band communication satellite, aims to provide services over a wide oceanic region, including the Indian landmass. The upcoming launch underscores ISRO's growing capability to deploy large and complex communication satellites using its own heavy-lift vehicles. And DD India correspondent Jay Singh joins us live from Sriharikota. Jay, what is the weather like today and all preparations in place for the historic launch?
So, Bendu, the sky is clear and the clouds are now dissipating and all decks are getting cleared for the another successful launch of LVM-3, India's Bahubali rocket, which is capable of lifting satellites and payloads as heavy as more than 4 tons to geotransfer orbit. So the 24-hour countdown process started yesterday at 5:26 p.m., which is going on very smoothly without any hitch on a copybook style, like the propellant loading, like liquid fuel in the core stage or the second stage, and the cryogenic stage, that is the upper stage, which are going on very well, and the system checks and rechecks and verifications of the sensors are all happening at well-determined pace.
Right, and it's also said to be one of the heaviest communication satellites. Can you tell us more about the importance and applications of this satellite?
Well, this CMS-03 is meant for Indian Navy. Navy has said in a release that this will bolster India's capacity for surveillance over the vast Indian Ocean region, where India has huge strategic importance. And India's ships, submarines and aircraft can communicate with among each other and also with the stations on the shore for effective, seamless, safe communication using 3 bands: K-band, S-band, C-band and ultra-high frequency. So this is one of the major significance of CMS-03, which is a multi-band communication satellite. This is a replacement for GSAT-7 that was launched in 2013, which is aging. So CMS-03 or GSAT, another name is GSAT-7R. This will take over from the previous one. So this is going to be a shot in the arm for Indian Navy.
Jai Singh, appreciate you joining us with those updates and details. Moving on, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh attended the 12th ASEAN Defence Ministers meeting plus in Malaysia on Saturday. During the meeting, the ministers appreciated India's key role in peace and stability in the Indo-Pacific region. DD India's Adamya Mishra brings us this report.
India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh participated in the 12th ASEAN Defence Ministers meeting plus in Malaysia. In his address at the forum on reflection on 15 years of ADMM Plus and charting the way forward, Rajnath Singh noted that for India, the ADMM Plus is an integral part of its Act East policy and broader Indo-Pacific vision.
Excellencies, भारत के लिए ADMM Plus उसकी Act East policy और व्यापक इंडो-पैसिफिक विजन का एक अभिन्न हिस्सा है। यद्यपि आसियान के साथ भारत का जुड़ाव इससे पहले से रहा है, लेकिन इस तंत्र ने डिफेंस कोऑपरेशन के लिए एक स्ट्रक्चर्ड प्लेटफॉर्म प्रदान किया है, जो हमारे डिप्लोमेटिक और इकोनॉमिक एस्पेक्ट्स को और मजबूती देता है। भारत आसियान और प्लस कंट्रीज के साथ अपने डिफेंस कोऑपरेशन को क्षेत्रीय शांति, स्थिरता और क्षमता विकास में योगदान के रूप में अपना रोल देखता है।
The meeting was also addressed by other world leaders. Malaysia urged major powers to uphold international law and promote peace in the region.
Malaysia expresses our deep concern over the humanitarian tragedy in Gaza and Palestine, where starvation and deprivation are being used as weapons of war. Malaysia urges all nations, especially major powers, to exercise their influence in accordance with the international law.
In his opening remarks at an informal meeting with his ASEAN counterparts, US Secretary of War Pete Hegseth warned ASEAN of China's destabilizing actions in the South China Sea.
We seek peace, we do not seek conflict, but we must ensure that China is not seeking to dominate you or anybody else. As ASEAN members, we would urge that this group continue to work toward that code of conduct in the South China Sea, remembering that a code without the ability to back it up with action can just be empty words.
On Saturday, Malaysia handed over the ASEAN Defence Chairmanship to the Philippines. The ADMM Plus is a platform for ASEAN and its 8 dialogue partners, Australia, China, India, Japan, New Zealand, Republic of Korea, Russia and the United States to strengthen security and defense cooperation for peace, stability and development in the region. Adamya Mishra's report for DD India.
Union Minister of State for External Affairs Pabitra Margarita is scheduled to embark on a visit to 3 countries in Latin America and Caribbean region, Ecuador, Bolivia and Cuba from 4th to 10th of November. During his visit, the MOS is expected to meet with the political leadership in these countries and discuss issues of mutual interest and review progress in bilateral ties. He is also scheduled to interact with representatives from business and the Indian community. While in Ecuador, he will review preparations for establishing a resident Indian mission in Quito. During his visit to Bolivia, Minister Margarita is scheduled to represent Government of India at the inauguration of newly elected President of plurinational state of Bolivia on 8th November in the administrative capital La Paz. Meanwhile, in Cuba, the minister would be discussing strengthening bilateral ties, including in areas of health, medicine, digital public infrastructure and capacity building. Bahrain's Foreign Minister Abdul Latif bin Rashid Al Zayani will be arriving in New Delhi today on a 2-day visit to India. During his visit, Bahrain Foreign Minister will meet External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar. Abdul Latif's visit comes after Dr. Jaishankar visited Bahrain in December last year. During last year's visit, Dr. Jaishankar co-chaired the 4th meeting of the India-Bahrain High Joint Commission. India and Bahrain enjoy excellent bilateral ties characterized by cordial political, economic, cultural and people-to-people contacts. He will depart from India tomorrow. The historic city of Nawabs and the capital of Uttar Pradesh, Lucknow, has been officially recognized on the global stage. UNESCO has designated it as the creative city of gastronomy, honoring its centuries-old Awadhi cuisine and vibrant food culture. Prime Minister Modi called the world to visit and experience its unique flavors, while Defence Minister Rajnath Singh hailed this as a tribute to the city's rich culture. Aman Kumar Himanshu has more.
Lucknow, the historic city of Nawabs in Uttar Pradesh, has been designated a UNESCO Creative City of Gastronomy. The announcement was made at 43rd UNESCO General Conference in Samarkand, Uzbekistan. With this, Lucknow became the second Indian city to be added to gastronomy category after Hyderabad, that was named in 2019.
हम लोगों के लिए प्रसन्नता है कि भारत ने इस वर्ष जो प्रस्ताव भेजा था उसे यूनेस्को ने स्वीकार किया है और उत्तर प्रदेश की राजधानी लखनऊ को लखनवी क्विजीन के लिए, लखनवी भोजन के लिए, लखनवी भोजन की जो विशिष्टता है उसके लिए गैस्ट्रोनॉमी में, मतलब पाक शास्त्र के दृष्टिकोण से उसको क्रिएटिव सिटीज नेटवर्क की सूची में, कल घोषित सूची में सूचीबद्ध किया है.
India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi expressed his happiness over this achievement for Lucknow. Prime Minister wrote, "Lucknow is synonymous with a vibrant culture, at the core of which is a great culinary culture. I am glad that UNESCO has recognized this aspect of Lucknow, and I call upon people from around the world to visit Lucknow and discover its uniqueness." India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, who is a Member of Parliament from Lucknow constituency, also hailed this recognition. Rajnath Singh wrote, "From the artistry of Awadhi biryani to the finesse of galoti kebab and the sweetness of makhan malai, every flavor of Lucknow narrates the story of our heritage and harmony. A proud moment for Uttar Pradesh, for India and for every Lucknowite." Awadhi cuisine is renowned for its slow-cooked delicacies embodying artistry, inclusivity and community dialogue. The city's unique food culture, from royal kitchens to bustling street vendors, has long served as a central attraction for visitors. The milestone places Lucknow on the world stage, positioning it among the top gastronomic destinations and showcasing how food heritage can serve as a symbol of cultural diplomacy and sustainable tourism. Bureau Report, DD India.
Let's now take a look at other stories making news today. A rare snow leopard was rescued after it got trapped in the inlet of Sanjay Jal Vidyut Project Dam in Himachal Pradesh's Kinnaur. Forest officials and local rescue teams responded swiftly and safely freed the animal. Officials say the sighting suggests snow leopards are now moving towards the lower Baba Valley region as well. On the 70th Foundation Day of Madhya Pradesh, Chief Minister Mohan Yadav attended the state-level Abhyudaya Madhya Pradesh program in Bhopal. The event showcased MP's evolution from heritage to modern development, highlighting growth in culture, science and technology. The state's focus remains on building a greener, progressive and globally strong Madhya Pradesh. And MP saw a grand celebration of Devothani Ekadashi as Rampath from Chitrakoot to Amarkantak was illuminated with more than 3 lakh oil lamps. A special aarti of Lord Ram, Mata Sita was performed. Major ghats including Chitrakoot, Narmadapuram and Amarkantak glowed with lakhs of lamps, followed by devotional music evening. In Prayagraj, Balwa Ghat turned into a divine sight as nearly 1 lakh oil lamps were lit on the occasion of Devothani Ekadashi. Thousands of devotees participated in the celebrations and a special aarti was performed on the banks, marking the auspicious day with devotion and spiritual fervour. The first ever National Fitness and Wellness Conclave 2025 is being held in Mumbai. India's Youth Affairs and Sports Minister Mansukh Mandavia felicitated newly appointed Fit India icons. Bollywood producer Rohit Shetty, cricketer Harbhajan Singh, Olympic medalist Saina Nehwal. The conclave showcased India's growing fitness movement under Fit India mission, promoting a vision of a fit and Viksit Bharat. Time for a short break. There's more coming up. Welcome back. You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh. Time now for all the action from the world of sports. India will take on South Africa in the summit clash of the Women's Cricket World Cup in Navi Mumbai on Sunday. Today, both teams are on the cusp of history as they chase elusive trophy. India are set to play their third ODI World Cup finals after 2005 and 17, while South Africa appear in their maiden finals. DD India's Suchitra has sent us this ground report.
After a month of intense competition among 8 teams, the Women's Cricket World Cup has reached its pinnacle. Host India will face South Africa in the summit clash as both teams chase elusive trophy. India started the tournament with 2 consecutive wins but then lost 3 matches, making it difficult for themselves to reach the semi-finals. However, they defeated New Zealand in a do-or-die match and secured the semi-final spot. In the last 4 clash, India achieved the highest target in the tournament, defeating 7-time world champions Australia by 5 wickets. Batters Smriti Mandhana and Jemimah Rodriguez are in splendid forms, while Deepti Sharma has made significant contributions.
This match is more important because keeping yourself balanced and focus is something which is the key, and we are having those sessions where we have been talking about how we can be more focused and more balanced, and at the same time keeping ourselves relaxed, because this is the biggest stage and biggest opportunity for us playing in home condition, and that also final match.
On the other hand, South Africa had a very poor start. They were bundled out for just 69 runs in their first match against England. However, the team bounced back and managed to reach the semi-finals. South Africa defeated England by 125 runs in the last 4 to book a berth in the summit clash. South Africa's Laura Wolvaardt is the tournament's top scorer with 470 runs, while Nadine de Klerk has bailed out the team on several occasions.
I think knockout cricket is completely different to league cricket. I think, like we've seen, I think people are able to do some very special things in knockout games, like we saw from Jamie the other night. So I think, starts totally afresh. I don't think we're going to be looking into our group game against them. We know we have to play some really good cricket. They're a really strong side and have just come off of a really good game as well, so they'll be high on confidence.
In the bilateral clashes, the 2 teams have faced each other 34 times. India have won 20 games and South Africa 13, with 1 match ending without result. The 2 teams have faced each other 6 times in the ODI World Cup, with both teams winning 3 matches each. In the last 5 ODIs, India have won 4 matches, while South Africa came out victorious in the league stage of this edition. Rain could play a spoil sport, hence Monday has been designated as a reserve day.
South Africa has entered the Women's One-Day World Cup final for the first time, while India has made it to the final twice, in 2005 and 2017, but they lost on both occasions. Now, we'll have to see if India gets third time lucky and becomes world champion for the first time in front of their home crowd. With camera person Ashish Sharma, this is Suchitra reporting for DD India in Navi Mumbai.
And DD India correspondent Suchitra joins us live now from Navi Mumbai. Suchitra, 2 evenly matched teams. What does the big contest look like today?
Good morning, Shubhendu. Yes, the teams are evenly matched, and both the teams are going to create history because these two teams have never won the World Cup, and this is the first time that two teams are meeting in the final who have never won a World Cup. So we are certainly going to have a new champion in women's cricket today. And then if you look at both the teams, then the South African skipper Laura Walcott is the top scorer in the tournament. She has scored 470 runs so far, and if you look at the Indian team, then the star batter Smriti Mandhana is also in good form, and she has scored 389 runs in the tournament. So the batting is evenly matched, and also just like the men's cricket team, the South African women's cricket team also has a lot of all-rounders. That is their biggest strength, I can say. And the player Nadine de Klerk, she is being compared to Lance Klusener. If you remember the men's 99 World Cup campaign, then Lance Klusener took them to the finals, but took them to the semi-finals, but eventually they lost in the semi-finals. Similarly, Nadine de Klerk, she is playing in the lower order, and she's been rescuing the team on important occasions. And the Indian team also has Deepti Sharma as an all-rounder. Deepti Sharma has taken 17 wickets. She is the joint highest wicket taker in the tournament, and when it comes to batting, she has contributed with the bat as well. Whenever there is a requirement to accelerate the run rate, Deepti Sharma is always available there for the team. So we can say that both the teams are evenly matched. They have quality batsmen, they have quality bowling, and they have quality all-rounder. As the South African skipper yesterday said, that the key is going to be staying calm. So we'll have to see which team manages to stay calm and manages to handle the pressure of the final well today, because that is going to be the key in today's match.
Okay, and how's Mumbai gearing up for the big finals? What are the playing conditions like?
Well, Shubhendu, it's been drizzling since morning, and it's raining even now. And the weather forecast is not looking very bright for today. There is a forecast for rain. But I just expect, even the matches against New Zealand and the semi-final match against Australia that was also played in Navi Mumbai, there was a disruption by rain, but the match was completed somehow. Only the India versus Bangladesh match, it was washed out due to rain, because the rain was heavier that day. So I hope there's a rain forecast in the later part of the evening, and it's a 50-over match. But even if both the teams play 20 overs each, it will be called a valid result under TLS system. So let's hope that rain is surely going to be there, but I hope the rain gods will also allow these teams to have a slice of history. We would like to see them create history in Navi Mumbai's DY Patil Stadium. So yes, rain is obviously going to be there, but it's going to be in patches. So we may see a result today, even though in a rain-curtailed game. And DY Patil is known for high-scoring matches. The pitch is batters friendly, so we can see a high-scoring match today also. And any team that plays well under pressure is going to become the world champion for the first time.
Okay, so Chitra, enjoy the match, and thank you for joining us with those updates. Indian men's cricket team will square off with Australia in the third T20 International in Hobart today. India likely to make some changes in their playing 11 after the crushing defeat in the second game of the 5-match series. They might bring in pacer Arshdeep Singh. The visitors were tormented by pacer Josh Hazlewood, who took 3 wickets for just 13 in their previous match. On the other hand, Glenn Maxwell has joined the Australian squad after recovering from the fractured wrist that had kept him out of action since mid-September. Australia lead the series 1-0 after first match was washed out. Hundreds of cycle enthusiasts took part in the Fit India Sundays on Cycle campaign in New Delhi to spread the message of healthy life. The campaign aims to promote cycling as one of the most accessible and effective form of exercise. It enhances stamina, reduces stress, improves health, promotes mental well-being as well. It is also an eco-friendly mode to transport that contributes to reducing pollution and building a greener nation. Since its launch, the initiative has been celebrated every Sunday at several locations across the country. brings together citizens of all age groups to take a stand against obesity and commit to a healthier, active lifestyle. The first edition of Second IAF Marathon 2025 was flagged off today from Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium in New Delhi. The event, inaugurated by Air Chief Marshal AP Singh, featured 10 kilometers and 5 kilometers run with enthusiastic participation from armed forces personnel and local citizens. The marathon paid tributes to Paramveer Chakra awardee Flying Officer Nirmaljeet Singh Sekhon, who made the supreme sacrifice defending the nation. Air Chief Marshal Singh thanked the participants and announced that Sekhon Indian Air Force Marathon will be held annually to honor the hero's legacy.
I'm saying thank you very much everyone for supporting this maiden run. It's in the name of Paramveer Chakra Flying Officer Nirmaljeet Singh Sekhon. He is our icon and I'm sure we're going to do it every year.
And prominent Bollywood celebrities also joined in. Actress Huma Qureshi lauded the initiative, expressing pride in the Indian Air Force.
बहुत खुश हैं। आई थिंक हम लोग सब यहाँ पे आए हैं और इंडियन एयरफोर्स में वेरी वेरी प्राउड ऑफ देम। वो देश की शान है एंड आई थिंक इट्स अ वेरी वेरी ग्रेट इनिशिएटिव। सुबह सुबह 5 किलोमीटर, 10 किलोमीटर, 21 किलोमीटर्स, आई थिंक इट्स वेरी वेरी इंस्पायरिंग एंड आई थिंक इट्स अ ग्रेट इनिशिएटिव।
And that's all for this edition of DD India News Hour. Let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS. Scan the QR code on the screen and download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India News Hour. Namaskar.